Good morning, everybody. Welcome to Coffee with Casey, where we talk about market conditions, strategies that are going on, and we've got a big one today. Okay. Sorry about last week. I was on vacation, Highlands, North Carolina. Awesome place. We're trying to beat the heat. That's the place to go. But what's happening in the market right now is interest rates are coming down. Okay. Now, the one place to watch that and to see it before it happens is the 10-year bond market. So as we watch the 10-year bonds, the 10-year bonds have gone from about 4.5% to 3.7%. They've dropped almost 3/4 of a point. Takes a little while for that to filter into the 30-year fixed mortgage rates, but it's coming. Now, if you look at that, again, I've said this before, if you look at the 10-year bonds, mortgage rates should be about 1.7% higher than that, right? So the mortgage rates should be 5.5% if they follow the historical trends. So right now, I think they're about 6 and an 8, which is a little high. But let's look at this. Interest rates. If you look at a 6.125 and you put in a contract on a house, as those rates float, you can float. You can lock in 6.125, lock it in. But if rates go lower, you can lock in the new rate. Now, some lenders won't let you, mine will, okay? The person who works on our team, Mike Filan, will allow that. It's got to be more than an 1/8, but I mean, it comes down, you can relock that in. So that's what you want to do. You want to lock in the lower rate so it doesn't go higher, but you can let it float down. And then should rates be 5.5 by the time we go to settle, go ahead and take the lower rate. Now, here's another thing you want to consider. Right this second, home prices have adjusted, right? So we've got lower interest rates, lower prices. So prices correct in the summertime, and they go down maybe 6%, 7%, 8%, and they have. Around the board, Vienna's gone down 6%. Oakton's gone down 10%. McLean's gone down 8%. So the prices are floating down. Now, some people overpriced, and now the home is coming down hard. So there are opportunities for buyers out there right now to go out and find that house they want to buy. And let's take your interest rates. Let's say they're 6.125. Let's say you're buying a house that 3 months ago might have cost another $150,000. Okay. Take the contract you're going to write, put in an extra $25,000, and have the seller buy the interest rate down a full point. You buy it down a full point. Sorry, guys. You buy it down a full point. Now you're looking at 5 and an 8. By the time you get ready to settle, it could be in the 4s. You get an interest rate in the 4s. You get a prices down $120,000, $130,000, $150,000 from where they were a couple months ago. That's a nice scenario. Here is the absolute cherry on top of that pie. Cake, pie, it's cherry on top of something. The cherry is that for 4.5 years, a person sitting in a house, 1,800 square foot house in Arlington, saying, we've got 2 kids, we got to buy a bigger house. We've got to buy a bigger house. But I've got to sell this house in order to buy the new house. I got equity. I need to sell this to get equity for the new house. You've been unable to do it. You're locked in. Nobody's going to bring a contract to one of my houses and say it's contingent on the sale of my house. Not going to happen. 4.5 years, not going to happen. But today, a lot of the agents, a lot of the sellers are now allowing and welcoming these contingent contracts. Got a house to sell, need to sell it and move up, go out and find the home you want. And so I've sat with 100 people that have said, well, I don't want to contract to buy a house, and then I have to try and get mine because we'll never get the contract. And on the other side, I can't sell my house because what if I sell my house and I can't find something I want? You've got limited inventory. I'm stuck. Buyers have been stuck. Not anymore. Now you can go out, inventory is up. Let me give you an example. In Vienna, the first 2 weeks of August, Inventory is up 93% from where it was first 2 weeks of August last year. Over 90%. It's pretty good, right? So now you've got inventory coming in. You got prices that are down. You got interest rates that are going down even further. Let them float. So you could find yourself, you find a home you like, negotiate a contract that's $120,000 less than it was 2 months ago. Get a buy down, buy your rate down, then go ahead and sell your house. Now, the good news is the lower priced homes are not taking as much of a discount when they sell. It's basically a seller's market under, the medium home price and a buyer's market on the luxury homes. Perfect time for somebody to make that move. Why? Because you can. So where are you going to find yourself in 30 to 45 days? Settling on a house could be at 4.5% interest, 120 to 130,000 over what it was selling for at its peak. And you sold your home and you didn't have to worry about, am I going to be homeless? Or is my contract going to get rejected? These are opportunities that haven't happened in 4.5 years. I'm telling you, yelling from the rooftops. I sit in the crow's nest and watch the market every day. Every day I watch the market. I cannot yell loud enough. This is an opportunity for the first time in 4.5 years. Buyers need to get out of their smaller houses. Got 2 kids, got 3 kids, need a bigger house, time to do it now. If you're a realtor, Samson Properties, you're working with us, you need to contact every person you know, every buyer you know that's sitting in a house that wishes they could buy a new house but have to sell their old house and have been shut out of the market. That is no longer true. Game is wide open. So, if we have to say market conditions, the market conditions now are perfect for that. So let's talk about sellers. Let's say sellers are sitting here saying, well, I want to sell my house. It was worth, more in May or June. Should I sell it? Well, you have to understand values. If we took your house and we had a line that appreciated at the rate of inflation, let's say you started at $1 million, based on inflation, it should be about 1.25. Well, it's 135, or it's 1375. It was 145. Now let's say it's 135, 1375. Somewhere along the line, it may intersect with that. It always has. So could there be a little things is you can. Can I sell it? Can I get out on top? Can I still make some money over the value line? The answer to that is yes. If I'm a buyer, can I buy a house? Can I make it contingent on the sale of my other house? Can I get a lower interest rate? 5.125, possibly as low as 4.5%, and make the whole thing contingent on me selling my house. That's the way to go. That is a strategy that is now wide open and people need to take advantage of it. Now, most of my clients and people that listen to Coffee with Casey are my sellers, right? And they're 50, 60, and 70. Your kids aren't listening to this. Your daughters and sons and nephews and people you work with, they don't listen to Coffee with Casey, man. They're out watching Reels and TikTok. You need to let them know. It's time for smart money to take over. It's time for smart people to take over. Smart people take advantage. And I'm not saying you're a market timer, right? You can't time the market. You can't time the market. It's stupid to try, but you can know the market. You can understand the market. You can see the opportunities in the market and how to take advantage of those opportunities in the market. So we've popped maybe 4 of these, boom, 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 and thrilled. Sellers or buyers are thrilled they can finally make this move. So we're getting the word out. Samson agents need to get the word out. My clients need to get the word out to their kids, family members, nephews, nieces, people you work with, that if people have been stuck in a smaller house and they need to get a bigger house, they got to give us a call. I got plenty of buyers agents out there. And I mean, they're everywhere from Nokesville to Alexandria. It doesn't matter. If it's time to move up, it's time to move up. If it's time to move out, it's time to sell while we're still above the value line. That's a good opportunity for sellers as well. Now, the reason why sellers want to sell is because, yes, inventory is growing. If it really grows, then it may be a little more difficult for you to sell. So now the question is this: somehow it's sitting on the market not selling. That's their fault. That's their fault. We absolutely 100% know where the buyer pool is. Not guessing. We're not guessing. We put the house on. We are very thorough on how we price them. We know what's going on with the correction of the pricing. We test it for 7 days. We give advice to people what they should be doing. I will tell you, some people are looking at the market, they don't see the correction, and they just overprice it, and that's okay. Makes it better for my sellers. So if you're thinking about selling, still a great time. But if you're thinking about buying, you have an opportunity you haven't had in a long time. Long time. So 2 opportunities in the market you need to take advantage of. My name is Casey Samson. Thanks for listening to Coffee with Casey. I come around every Thursday at 10:30, or try to, and give you market conditions and market strategies. This is the biggest opportunity I've seen in the last 4.5 years. Time to take advantage of it. If you're looking for me, I'm at Casey at CaseySamson.com or 703-508-2535. And if you are not in the market to do something, I'm sure you know somebody who is. And I will tell you, operating in a market, there's hundreds of thousands of dollars at stake. You need to work with the best, not your aunt or your uncle or your cousin or your friend or some other realtor that's pressuring you to work with them. You need to work with a professional, somebody that understands the market, somebody that understands how to negotiate contracts, somebody that understands how to price things. People could easily overpay if they're not pricing when they buy. So let's be smart out there. Casey at CaseySamson.com or 703-508-2535. We'll see you guys next week on Coffee with Casey. Bye now.